10, 9, ignition sequence start, 6.
Hello and welcome to Rocket Fuel, your daily update of everything that's happening in the Rocket Fuel community. My name is Wack. Today is February 5th and we are going to get started here with some sad news actually that came out from here. XH3B4SD, who says, hello, who can I talk to regarding ETH staking issues? My stake got routed through secondary markets, and while the interface said I pay a premium of 0.12%, I in fact paid a premium of 1.2%, which is 10 times more, which is quite the rug because it means I have to stake for half a year just to break even here. I would like to know how this can happen. Reading the documentation, I could not really find a warning or best practices for this kind of thing. So what happened here was this user went to the stake.rocketpool.net website and put in their ETH and got our ETH in return. Of course, as the deposit pool is full, then the stake.rocketpool.net website, the app there routes you through the secondary market. And just like a few months ago now, I want to say, someone did the same thing and they actually suffered a lot of slippage and I think got sandwich attacked, and they ended up losing a big chunk of ETH for that issue. This is kind of what happened again here. So this person's saying that, they paid 10 times more as a fee, which is like, a big slippage fee basically, and it hurt them quite a lot. So then Ramana was saying like, how did you calculate the premium? It says I use the number of ETH that I staked as 100% and then see what I could get if I was to unstake now. The difference between these two tells me that what got deducted or lost in between. So the difference is expected to be about 12 bips, but now is 120 bips. So it's 1.2% instead of 0.12%. There are three options here. Either I'm missing something very important, or the interface tells me the wrong number, or I got robbed. So then they were saying a mint fee that's 0.05%, so that doesn't of course cover that, and then it was on the secondary market as well, so there was no mint fee there. That's what Ramana was trying to figure out. And then Halulu said we should stop routing through Balancer and Uniswap and just point people to CowSwap or similar. And then there was more questions about the premium and secondary market and what was going on. And then this is what XH3B4SD says. He says I staked 1,250 ETH and received 1,235, and the difference is 15 ETH, which is 1.2%. So basically he swapped 1,250 ETH into our ETH, and then when he goes back to stake.rocketpool.net, it looks like, when he tries to swap back, he'd only get back 1,235 ETH, which is a 1.25% hit. And of course, he's really upset about that. And Ramana says that looks like slippage. And then XH says, I'm not aware anything along my user journey was informing me about slippage. How could I even configure for this? And then if you look on CowSwap, this is what you're supposed to be getting. And the initial trade was the bad trade basically. So then it looks like here Mad Matt found the screenshot saying that this person got sandwiched attacked basically, and that's what happened here on the secondary market, and they had some transactions. So Nick said, can you provide me with the transaction hash so I can investigate? And then like that was talking back and forth basically about what happened there. But it seemed like this person just wanted to use the Rocket Pool app, the stake app, and they didn't want to directly go to the secondary market, and because of that the app was misconfigured, I guess, and it has a slippage tolerance of 1%, which for large amounts means that the person becomes a very nice target for sandwich attack. And that's what happened here, is that XH got sandwich attacked for 15 ETH, basically at 1%. So he says that the information that it's going through, like that the slippage involved, is not in the documentation. I think he said you provide the interface that people trust, and then you allow your users to get robbed. My intention was to stake with Rocket Pool. My intention was not to swap for our ETH on their decks. So even though the practice of what's happening, going to stake.rocketpool.net is the same as it's the same practice as whether you go into the deposit pool or a DEX. Behind the scenes, right, like the path that it takes is different. So in this case, XH would be better just going to CowSwap directly and setting the slippage tolerances to be much less and doing it themselves that way. They would have ended up with 15 more ETH than they did. So here that discussion kind of went back and forward about slippage basically and what it's looking like. And here XH3B says, now the staking process allowed the MEV bot to extract value from me, and the Rocket Pool interface enabled that. I trusted Rocket Pool. So then Nick here says, I'm one of the core team who's responsible for the user interface. As mentioned by some community members, it appears that you may have been the victim of a sandwich attack. Could you please provide me the transaction hash? So that's when they came back, and he says, this should be, what you do going forward. He says the secondary market route should be MEV resistant, whether solution, whatever solution makes sense should be used, e.g. cow swap. He says, I would like to get my 15 ETH reimbursed by the Rocket Pool DAO, and then we call it quits. I'm happy to draft a proposal in the forum. Given the above, if I could be of service to prevent more people from getting exploited in the future, I'm happy to have done my part here. So this is actually the second time this happened. I'm not sure what the outcome of the first sandwich attack was, but I remember that being actually for a bigger amount as well. So then XH says, imagine where I'm coming from. I was staking with Lido, everything was fine. Now I want to help bring more stake to a more execution client diversified staking network and support Rocket Pool. And now I got this outcome. And then Ramana says that cow swap will not be straightforward to integrate. More realistic is to point people to go there instead of doing it natively through the app. And here Nick kind of reinforces that as well. It says, thank you. It does indeed look like your second transaction fell victim to a sandwich attack. Making transaction MEV resistance from the protocol side can be pretty tricky, as they rely on a centralized third party. As a decentralized protocol, we have to be protocol agnostic and can't favor things like Flashbot RPC endpoints. So we leave that choice up to the user. Notifies the team, and we'll definitely discuss it tomorrow when everyone is back in the office. So XH says, I understand. Thank you for escalating the issue. Should I start drafting a proposal for the DAO based on my suggestions above, considering what we've been discussing? And Nick says, yes, please. We are just trying to make the best possible product. So all feedback, no matter how critical, is welcome and will be taken aboard. So this is like a sad situation. Like this person lost 15 ETH, which is quite a significant amount of money. And if there is a way that this can be prevented from happening again, I think that would be good for everyone, especially considering that this is the second time that's happened and not the first time. So yeah. Okay, next we're getting to something that is really exciting here. So Long for Wisdom, one of our community members who's most frequently in the DAO forum rather than in Discord, but also in Discord sometimes, took on a bounty to make a new bounty board. And then here, I think they took on a bounty, or maybe they just did it of their own volition. So here we have a list of a whole bunch of different kinds of bounties and all the bounties that are available and how much they'll pay you. So for example, we have the EigenLayer integration, which is $30,000 to $60,000, verified reward specification, $1,500, a non-custodial staking and service, $80,000, RPIP review, $50,000 to $500, Rocket Pool scorecard, that's $2,000 to $15,000, which is actually open now. And then we have bounty writing, which is 3 RPL, Grafana set up for native mode, 10 RPL. We also have node operator FAQ editions if you want to write questions. We have liquid stakers FAQ editions. We also have a smart node notification functionality, that's 250 RPL, smart node arbitrage functionality, 100 RPL, and FAQ editions, which is 5 to 10 RPL. So this is a whole bunch of different work that you could do if you are, so inclined and capable. It's really cool that there's a whole bunch of stuff out there. Of course, if there's something that you see that you want done, then you can write a bounty, and if someone takes up that bounty, you get 3 RPL for writing the bounty, which is quite nice. So the next round of grants applications is open, and it's going to be open for another 6 days. So if you want to get your application in, then now is the time to do that. Or if you want to apply to a bounty, apply to do a bounty, then the best person to talk to is Shifrin. Some of these are already have been claimed, and people are working on it, and others are unclaimed at the moment. So definitely check that out if you are curious about what work you can do for Rocket Pool. And then based on that, well, not based on that specifically, but Ramana relatedly had a comment saying, is anyone interested in working on a reasonable reasonably simple GMC grant application and delivery for MEV theft analysis. All the code and data exists, just a matter of packaging it and maybe writing a report. So basically he's asking people to reach out to him to work on the grant application, and I'm sure Ramana will split the income of that to some extent. So if you are interested in doing that, then reach out to Ramana. And Ramana is always looking for working at bounties, like on the bounty board. So if you are curious about taking one of the bounties, but you're not sure whether you have the full expertise to do it, then reach out to Ramana and reach out to other people in trading, and maybe someone will be willing to help you take on that bounty. And like I said, there's some really good money to be made. Like some of these have $60,000, $80,000, $15,000, 215 RPL, like big chunks of money that the GMC is willing to pay for these services to happen. So yeah, good luck. And remember, you can also apply for grants if you want to do some work yourself. You can apply for a bounty if you want something to be done, but you want someone else to do instead of you doing it. And there's also a retroactive award. So if you've done some work already and you want to have the GMC pay you for it, you can put in an application and kind of make your case of what work you did, how it was important, and how much you think you should get paid for it. So definitely look into that, because I think it's pretty cool. Okay, next we had an issue with the latest version of Nethermind and Nimbus. So Nimbus actually. So here Crypto Aslan says, "Hey all, I was just trying to resync my ETH2 after turning on pruning mode for Nimbus, but it doesn't seem like it's working. I keep seeing errors in ETH2 now." So that person was getting some errors, and they were having some some issues with their system. And Invis replied to his saying, "How long did you wait?" And he says, "It's only been a few minutes, but I wasn't seeing any progress in the sync. It just stayed at 0%. I wasn't sure if there needed to be a trailing slash at the end of the sync.invis.tools. So I just added one and restarted, and then Invis got back. And seeing my sync percentage is actually going down now, which is strange. It was at 21% to start and then dropped to 20%, now 19%. Maybe this is just part of the sync process." So there was some weirdness going on here for Crypto Aslan. And then Invis said, "Was this on Nimbus?" And he said, yes, it was beforehand already. And then Invis said, "You need to wait longer, like half an hour longer. It will look like it's stuck, but it will fix itself." So if you have an issue with Nimbus, then just give it about half an hour or 45 minutes, and then everything should be okay. Now, I'm not sure if Crypto Aslan was a testing during this period or not, but it's something to look out for. So here Crypto Aslan says, "Yep, Nimbus just tried resync again, back to 0%. If any idea if I should see this number ticking up?" And Invis says it won't tick up for a while. And then it says, "Again, wait like half an hour or more. It's a bug that causes Nimbus to get stuck for a bit after checkpoint syncing. I've already mentioned it to Nimbus team. It should fix itself. At least it did in my experience." So Invis then says, "You should notice that one CPU core is getting hammered by Nimbus, even though the logs look like it's not doing anything." So if you dig down deeper into your hardware a little bit more, you'll see that there's some information coming up. And then Crypto Aslan says, "Oh yeah, I see on the CPU has shot up. It looks like it's doing something. Thank you." So that's something to keep in mind if you are using Nimbus, and if you want to set up the auto pruning feature, then keep that in mind, that there might be some weird logs that you see for a while, but everything should be okay soon. Oh yeah, okay, we just covered that. Okay, next we've got this Butter here who works with Beaconchain, is kind of teasing a new feature for the Beaconchain website and the app. And here there's this tab here that says "View the validator with Rocket Pool protocol stats, e.g. commission." So it's just letting you look at what the rewards table and everything will look like if you're using Rocket Pool. So there's just integrating a nice little user experience update for Rocket Pool users on the Beaconchain website, and just make sure that the rewards that you're seeing on the Beaconchain website will be more in line with what you are actually earning from Rocket Pool, and not just what you're earning from Ethereum. After which, of course, the RETH holders get their share of your rewards. So that's pretty cool that they're working on that, and it's a nice little nod to an upcoming feature that they're going to have. Okay, next we've got this DeFi integration here with Integral that we talked about on Rocket Fuel before, and they have some insights from their January an update, and it says the mission is clear. We're building the leading platform for concentrated liquidity farming. It says we started strong with our ETH RPL pair. We quickly climbed to become the second most popular liquidity pool. So what they're saying here is saying that they have daily volume of $7 million, TVL of $2.3 million, capital utilization is 400%, which is an impressive start to the year. So for every dollar of liquidity they have, they're getting 400% of the liquidity that they're providing because of that through the daily volume, which is pretty cool. And then here they go on and talk about the ETH RPL listing. So it says listed on mainnet on January 23rd. So they've got a TVL of about $100,000 in there, and this was ranked as the second most used liquidity venue for the pair, offering a swap fee of APR of 15.78%. So, and then they also thank me for the mention. So, because I gave them a shout out a couple of weeks ago, and it looks like their pool is, the RPL pool is getting some good adoption with some nicely sized trades going through their service. So, like here, you see Uniswap is still the bulk of the trading, but Integral is coming through second, which is pretty nice. And then here they give you some more breakdown of what it's looking like on 1inch and AirSwap, etc. So it looks like they've got a big chunk of liquidity going through there, which is fantastic. So good job, guys. Like it seems like that liquidity pool is working quite well, but of course I'm not an expert on DeFi liquidity and all that good stuff there. But it looks pretty nice. Okay, next we've got this update from Chaotic. So Chaotic here says, and so this is going back a little bit actually, like this is covering some old news. So Chaotic was a node operator in China and had some issues with the Nethermind bug and was struggling to get his validators working after the bug. So he says there's a GitHub block because I'm in China, so I downloaded the Rocket Pool package manually. Then at line 415 of install.sh, I removed the call command and modified the tar command to be whatever it is. It says the installation partially worked, but there was an error after step 9, and there was a problem with the error. And then it says, however, when I run Rocket Pool service config, it seems to still find the new version files from 1.11.6, the new Nethermind version, etc. But then when I try to start the service, it runs for a few hours and throws an error. Can anyone help? And then here, Atomic Whale got involved, and here showing that he's running Haleshki test network in China, saying, I've been wanting to do this experiment for a long time. Can we set up and run a node in China behind the Great Firewall? And today I actually tried it on Haleshki. The answer is yes, but with some fiddling, of course. So Atomic Whale then was saying that he wants to test some mini pools on this node and let it run for some time. He said then he'll do a write-up about the test documenting the challenges and the workarounds if anyone's interested. So Chaotic was a person that Atomic Whale was talking to about this and trying to get the install to work. We're still having issues, and he said that he's 100% interested in finding out more information about this because his system was working before the Nethermind incident, and now that a GitHub server is not reachable, so he's kind of stuck. So Atomic Whale says there's an easy workaround with editing install.sh. Change github.com to kkgithub.com. It's a mirror run by some volunteers. That is all I had to do to get it working. There's also a Docker Hub mirrors if you have trouble reaching Docker Hub, but it was working for me without the mirror, but it was quite slow. I tried a Docker Hub mirror and it was only slightly faster. It says Nimbus was a pain to sync though. I have to manually pass the Genesis SEZ to do it because it kept failing trying to fetch SSZ from GitHub. Looks like it's hard-coded URL and refused to continue to sync. I got it to work, but later changed to Lighthouse for testing. It says Lighthouse was easy. It fetched the Genesis and head from the checkpoint server. No much manual intervention needed. So this is really cool. Like if you are in China and if you want to spin up validators and if you're having issues getting your software set up, it looks like Atomic Whale here has got some good ideas. And the more geographic diversity we get, the better it is. And I didn't know that we had any validators running in China. So it's really cool that people here are trying to get it to work. And I'm really excited to see what documentation comes out of this. So Atomic Whale, please let me know when you get some stuff written up about that. Okay, and finally, we're going to finish the episode with some EigenLayer news. For those who've been following along, EigenLayer are lifting their caps today, which is February 5th. So here, this was their blog post from January 24th that I covered on the show, just talking about how they're going to make it uncapped and how they are lifting restrictions on every single pool that they have until it reaches 33% of the validators, I guess, of their liquidity size, at which point that will be capped. I guess unless multiple reach there, then they'll cap multiples of them. But there's going to be a removal, and that's happening today. So it should be happening, I think, in a few hours' time. And people are kind of excited about this because they think that there might be a premium coming back to RETH, which will be interesting to see if that it develops on the secondary market. There was some discussion about this going around as well, because Ramadan noticed that RETH had a slight discount in the secondary market, and people basically will likely be buying it up to deposit into EigenLayer today. And Sneaky was saying about how Halulu was saying once STETH is maxed out, then the others will likely run quite well. And Noshua says EigenLayer stakers aren't that smart apparently. but yeah, so there's points, and people were talking about the different points options that they are available, and a whole bunch of liquid restaking tokens that are out there like Puffer and ETH and Swell and a whole bunch of others. So if those are the ones that you want to get involved with, or if you just want to put like RETH in there, please be careful about how you do that, because here there's warning from EigenLayer saying that there is a whole lot of phishing attacks taking place right now where people are sending out fake information about what is happening with EigenLayer, and they are basically lying and saying that this is they're trying to scam people basically. So EigenLayer says, stay vigilant. Phishing attacks targeting EigenLayer users are on the rise. Always verify that you are interacting with the official EigenLayer app, which is app.eigenlayer.xyz. You have to make sure that it's spelled properly, and go to trusted sources to get that information. So please be careful, don't get phished following incorrect links, and try to ape responsibly into EigenLayer or whatever else you're aping into. But on that note, I'm going to end today's episode. Thank you all for listening, watching, and being part of the Rocketfuel community. I hope you all had lovely weekends, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye.